Come, come, whoever you are welcome here. No matter your age, your size, the color of your eyes, your hair, or your skin, you are welcome here. No matter your gender, who you love, how you speak, or whatever your abilities, you are welcome here. You are welcome here whether you come with laughter in your heart or tears in your eyes. No matter what you have experienced in the past, no matter what awaits you in the future, you are welcome here. Whether you believe in God all of the time, some of the time, or none of the time, you are welcome here. This is a community of open minds, loving hearts, and willing hands. Good morning. My name is Matthew Morris. I am a tall, white male wearing a gorgeous blue shirt today. My pronouns are he, him. Not too many announcements today, actually just one. We do have fidget toys or stim toys at the front. If anyone needs any, they're available. Please feel free to come grab one. Other than that, let's all wave hello to our Zoom congregation. Hi, friends. And then let's take a moment now to fully arrive and welcome each other with joy.
I'll go ahead and invite everyone to stand if you'd like, if you're willing and able. We're going to sing hymn number 170, We Are a Gentle, Angry People. Just 4 verses.
I need to move this. I need to read. Please remain standing or rooted as you wish. I invite Sage to come up and light our chalice this morning. As we light our chalice, the symbol of our faith and the light of our commitment to love and justice, receive these words of invocation. We look back into history, poring over our texts, both sacred and profane, searching for some kind of opening. We sprint to it, our past, our present, our future. And with all our might, break the door off its hinges. We pant, breathless, on the other side. We want to scream, but instead we whisper, "We are here. We are here. We have always been." Let us light our chalice. Those at home are invited to light a chalice and share in this ritual by entering "Chalice is lit" at and the name of your street in the chat on Zoom. Please join me in repeating our chalice lighting words and use our actions if you wish. We light the chalice for the warmth of love, for the light and truth, for the energy of action, and the flames of resistance, for the purpose of liberation. If you're standing, feel free to sit down.
Yeah, now I'd love to see the kids. If all the kids would come up front and grab a cushion and sit down, I'd love to chat for a little bit. Oh, we should probably move these or else they're just gonna end up on the floor. Thank you. Scared me. How are you guys doing today?
Good.
I'm hot. But that's like the story of my life. I'm always hot. You know, isn't that weird? I'm wearing long sleeves and pants. Maybe that's it. So who watches Sesame Street? Does anyone here watch Sesame Street anymore? Because Sesame Street was integral to my growing up. Did any of you guys watch Sesame Street? A little bit? You watched it? Did you watch it when Annie was around? So they've got a new character. She looks like this. Does anyone know what her name is? That's Annie. And Annie's interesting. She's special because she has autism. And I would like to know why you guys think it might be important for someone with any disability or autism in this specific case to be featured on something like Sesame Street. Sage.
Is it important for children to know and to learn about it and accept it so that they're not rude about people that have it when they're adults?
Yeah, it's important for children to learn about it and accept it so they're not rude about it when they're adults. Man, that's a great point. I mean, even when they're kids, right? I think there's a chance that we could be unknowingly rude about it as kids. Does anybody else have a thought about why it's important to see representation in media? Well, here's what I think. I think when you have a disability, you do not see much of yourself in modern media. I say that as somebody who understands what it's like to have a disability. And I also think it's important to acknowledge what we call hidden disabilities, something that you may not see, but still impacts the person that is sitting across from you. A lot of people in the world suffer from disabilities. It's something like 1 in 5 or 1 in 6 people have a disability of some sort. And that includes the ones that we can't see. So if you ever see somebody getting out of a car in a handicap spot and think, that person looks just fine, like what are they doing there? That's, you could very easily think they don't deserve that. Or you could understand there's a very real possibility that there's a hidden disability there that keeps them from being able to walk very far. And you don't see it. So when we don't see people like ourselves in the media, we think that makes us different. When I don't see people like myself in media, it makes me feel like I'm different, like I'm not typical, like I'm not normal. And what do those words mean anyway? Like, what does it mean to be normal anyway, right? Like, I don't know that I want to be exactly like everybody else, and neither does anybody else, right? We all want to be ourselves. We all want to be the most honest version of ourselves, the most authentic version of ourselves that we can be. And it's hard to do that when we don't see ourselves in the media we consume. So I'm glad that I get to see little Annie on Sesame Street when my son watches it. He's like a little bit over 2, so he's maybe the target demographic, maybe a little young for the target demo. And I'm glad that he gets to see that it's okay to need things that other people don't. Thank you guys for spending a little bit of time with me. I really appreciate it. I think you're all gonna go downstairs? Yeah, we're all gonna go downstairs, so let's sing you guys out. Bring these cushions back and we'll sing you out.
This community, our church, and its many ministries are only made possible by the gifts you give of your time, your talent, and your treasure. Many of you pledge monthly to support our work, and for this, we are grateful. Your gifts help to ensure that we are able to live our values of love and justice in the world outside. Part of our ministry at South Valley includes sharing our Sunday worship offering with a charitable organization that aligns with our principles and values. This month's organization is the Humane Society of Utah. Please join me in reading our offertory words.
Its heart, its voice. Together we share the love of this community and sustain it with our gifts.
We will now accept our offering. For those at home, you are invited to use the giving link in the online order of service. I would like to invite our ushers up to come forward at this time. For all we have received and all we have found the courage to give, may we be truly thankful. May these gifts be a blessing to South Valley and to the Humane Society of Utah. All gathered here today are invited to participate in our ritual of joys and sorrows. Those who are joining us in our virtual community are invited to use the chat box in Zoom, in the Zoom space, to share your joys and sorrows. For those gathered here in body, you are invited to approach the altar at the front of the sanctuary and place a stone in the water. Feel free to pause as you select your stone and gently place it in the water bowl. Please let Matthew or I know if you would like support during this process. You are invited to process this ritual in silence. At the close of the ritual, when all who wish to have added their stone, we we'll add a final stone to represent those joys and sorrows unspoken, but still held in gentleness. Those gathered here may now begin to come up to the table. Please approach via the right aisle if you are facing the front of the sanctuary, and return to your seats via the left aisle. Good morning. I don't think I've introduced myself yet, so I'm going to do that now. My name is Kaden Colton. My pronouns are my name or they, them. I am wearing a short sleeve lavender button-up shirt and light gray pants. And I'm about 5'2", so not super tall, but not super short either, so somewhere in the middle, and I'll take it. Right. We will take a few moments to pause, meditate, pray, or be present. I was introduced to these following words at the ordination of a friend of mine. These words were written by Spencer LaJoye, who is a non-binary artist and religious professional. They titled this piece, Plowshare Prayer. Dear blessed universe, dear mother, dear sister, dear father, dear brother, dear holy other, dear sibling, dear baby, dear patiently waiting, dear sad and confused, dear stuck and abused, dear end of your rope, dear worn out and broke, dear go it alone, dear running from home, dear jaded and quiet, dear tough and defiant. I pray that you're heard, and I pray this works. I pray if a prayer has been used as a sword against you and your heart, against you and your word. I pray that this prayer is a plowshare of sorts. I pray that your body gets all that it needs. And if you don't want healing, I just pray for peace. I pray that your burden gets lighter each day. I pray that the mean voice in your head goes away. I pray that you can feel all the life in your lungs. I pray you set boundaries and openly live. I pray that you feel you are worth never leaving. I pray that you know I will always believe you. I pray that you're heard. Amen on behalf of the anxious, depressed, and unseen. Amen for the workers, the hungry, the houseless. Amen for the lonely and recently spouseless. Amen for the mothers of little black sons. Amen for the queers and our closeted peers. Amen to the addicts, the ashamed, and hungover. Amen for the calloused, the wizened, and the sober. Amen for the ones who want life to be over. Amen to the leaders who lose their composure. Amen for the chronically ill and disabled. Blessed be, Ashe, and Amen. I invite everyone here to recall a time when you met and talked with someone who experienced a situation similar to your own, like the loss of a parent, interacting with another disabled person, or meeting an LGBT-identified person. What did that feel like? Did you notice any shift in how you felt after meeting this person? Hold on to this feeling for a moment. That moment of shared connection, of not feeling quite so alone, is important. I have been thinking quite a bit about the intersections of disability justice and theology. I'm not sure about any of you, but I grew up with an implied message that disability was something to be avoided. If someone was disabled, it was because of their personal moral failings, or that something that medical interventions could not help them live a quote-unquote normal life. Metaphors seem to be numerous and compare living with a disability with negative outcomes, failure to understand concepts, or something to be undesirable. What do these messages tell us about ourselves? I know that I had some role models who spoke from the microphone during weekly services growing up, until I didn't. I grew up with a genetic condition that got activated when I was an adolescent. It left me in an in-between state. I thought blindness and sightedness was a binary, where people were either totally blind or had 20/20 vision. The only folks I knew who struggled with vision loss were people my grandparents' age. I did not learn about disabled figures or characters in any sacred text until I read Loving Our Own Bones, Disability, Wisdom, and the Spiritual Subversiveness of Knowing Ourselves Whole by Rabbi Julia Watts-Belzer. I read this book a couple years ago. One of the arguments that Rabbi Watts-Belzer makes was reclaiming disabled people and characters in the Tanakh, Midrash, and New Testament. She highlighted stories from these sacred texts where a person is disabled or becomes disabled, but who are named and play important parts. One character she mentions is Jacob from the book of Genesis. Jacob gains a limping gait after tussling with a divine being. It is not clear if Jacob's limp is temporary or permanent. The other person Watts-Belzer names is Moses. She cites how Moses tells God he is disabled. Moses states that his lips and tongue are heavy with speech. This can be found in Exodus chapter 4, verse 10. It is implied that Moses has a disability, particularly a speech disability. And you know what? Moses gets an accommodation. Moses and Jacob aren't the only ones that experience what could be recognized as a disability or chronic illness. Miriam and Isaac from the Torah, Jesus and Paul from the New Testament, and Odin and Tyr from the poetic and prose Eddas have disabilities or chronic illnesses. Disability is one of the largest minority groups on Earth. Approximately 15% of people globally experience a temporary or permanent disability. In the US, it's approximately 1 in 4 people who live with a disability or chronic illness. The association between disability and moral failing continues to be prevalent in religious and secular spaces. It's often addressed in medical language nowadays, and the paradigm has shifted a little bit, but there's still work to be done. And there's still more work to be done to destigmatize disability and chronic illness. I very much appreciate how the 10 principles of disability justice have been developed, shared, and implemented in a number of contexts. The 10 principles of disability justice are intersectionality, leadership of those most impacted, anti-capitalist politic, commitment to cross-movement organizing, recognizing wholeness, sustainability, commitment to cross-disability solidarity, interdependence, collective action, and collective liberation. Some of these principles sound like UU values. Yet there are people feeling like they have to leave their disability or chronic illness experiences at the door of a religious community, including Unitarian Universalism. Again, I come back to the question of what does this tell us about ourselves? It tells me a lot about how representation and action matter. The coding of disability as a result of personal moral failing, or something to be overcome, or to be cured, has hurt so many people. Healing comes from a recognition of shared similarities in stories, actions, and knowing we are not alone in dealing with body-mind differences. The reflection of people like us and with whom we can connect with is important. So let us be that change where people can bring their whole selves to church without needing to hide parts of who they are or leave them at the door. And let's support them to be able to recognize themselves by, from, and with the people who come up here to speak, play the music during service, and in our own congregation. Recall how I asked you earlier to remember a time when you connected with someone else and didn't feel quite so alone. That has been my experience with disability and chronic illness. If anyone here is disabled or chronically ill, I want to tell you, you are not alone. Your experiences matter. We are not alone. We belong here.
And I'm supposed to follow that. When I was in elementary school, I watched left-handed kids struggle with scissors. Not because they were clumsy, but because every pair of scissors in the classroom was made for a right-handed kid. Imagine using the wrong tool every day. Eventually, you stop blaming the tool. You start wondering if the problem's you. I've come to think that's true of much more than scissors. Every design assumes a person. The question is simply, which person? Most of us never have to ask. The world opens up to us the way we expect it to. Doors, classrooms, meetings, forms, they all seem ordinary because they were built with people like us in mind. But for some people, that question never goes away. I know what it's like to wonder whether asking for one more thing will make people think you're difficult. I know what it's like to hover over the box of a job application labeled "I have a disability" and wonder whether checking it will quietly move my application to the bottom. Excuse me. Not because I can't do the job, but because someone already has the picture of the right employee. I wear glasses. No one calls them special treatment. No one tells me to squint harder. We understand that my eyes in this world don't quite line up, so I use something that helps them line up better. But change the accommodation and the questions begin. Do you really need that? Why can't you adapt? Isn't that asking too much? Maybe we're asking the wrong questions. Why are glasses ordinary, but captions have to be defended? Why is a wheelchair ramp controversial, but stairs are simply the way buildings are? Who decides which needs are normal? A building with only stairs assumes something about the people who will enter it. A noisy meeting assumes something about the people in it. A job application assumes something about the people filling it out. None of those assumptions are cruel, but they still leave people outside. And when you're left outside often enough, you begin to wonder whether you were the problem all along. You weren't. The design was simply too small. That's why disability pride has never made sense to some people. They hear the word pride and imagine denying pain. That's not what I hear. I hear someone refusing to apologize for existing in a world that wasn't always designed with them in mind. I hear someone saying, "I'm done confusing difference with deficiency." I think that's something all of us need, because none of us is self-made. Every one of us depends on things we didn't build and people we didn't become. The difference is that some of us have the privilege of having our needs treated as ordinary. Maybe that's the measure of a community. Not how well it serves the people it imagined from the beginning, but what happens when someone arrives who wasn't part of the original design. Do we ask them to change, or do we make room for them? Because making room for one another isn't charity. It's what good communities do. And maybe that's the truth I hope we leave with today. It's okay to need things that other people don't. Thank you. Mr. Omer, yeah, we're going to sing this final hymn. It's not in the book. It's going to be on the screen. It's called "We Rise," and we're going to kill this. As a result, please do stand as you are willing and able. Please root as you wish.
All right, and here's how this is going to work. I'm just going to sing this, okay? And I want you guys to join in whenever you're comfortable. It repeats itself over and over. And if you've already heard it, maybe you can jump right in at the beginning. It has 3 verses, 3.5 verses. As you go along, I hope you'll clap. I hope you'll sway back and forth. I hope you'll pop it up an octave. I hope you'll find a harmony part. Anyway, let's give this some energy. Here we go. We rise, humbly hearted, rise, won't be divided, rise, with Spirit to guide us, rise, in hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here in hope, in prayer. We're right here in hope, in prayer. We find ourselves here in hope, in prayer. We're right here, we rise. All of the children rise, elders with wisdom rise, ancestors surround us rise. In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here in hope, in prayer. We're right here in hope, in prayer. We find ourselves here in hope, in prayer. We're right here, we rise. Up from the wreckage, rise. With tears and with courage, rise. Fighting for life, we rise. In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here in hope, in prayer. We're right here in hope, in prayer. We find ourselves here in hope, in prayer. We're right here, we rise. Humbly hearted, rise. Won't be divided, rise. With Spirit to guide us, rise. Thanks, everyone.
Please remain standing as you wish for the extinguishing of the chalice. Join us in our actions if you wish. As we extinguish our chalice, the words are on the monitor, and you are invited to say them out loud with me.
We extinguish the chalice, but not the warmth of love, the light of truth, nor the energy of action. The flames of resistance burn within, and we hold each other in our hearts until we meet again.
I gotta do the important part.
If you are standing, you may be seated. As we come to a close, I offer these words of benediction. Dear disabled kin, I love you because you live all the way out loud. I love you because of the hard days where our body minds tell us to stop. I love you because of the days with less distractions and where those little things make a difference. I love you because you are so damn beautiful. Not in the way the world defines beauty. And for that record, you are beautiful that way too. But in the way truth becomes radiant when it finally has a body mind wider, deeper, more expansive than anything we were taught to imagine. I love you because your courage and tenacity are a masterclass in being and becoming, in choosing yourself, in choosing life, in refusing the lie that you were ever meant to be erased. I love you because you are living, breathing proof of the universe's imagination. Proof that creativity is still unfolding. Proof that holiness is not finished yet. I love you because you show us a different world is possible. I love you because your body mind is not a cage, but a garden where we flourish together. A world where we get to name ourselves and call it sacred. I love you because you remind the world about joy, the defiant kind. Your happy flappy limbs, laugh too loud, survive anything kind. The kind that says, we are still here. I love you because you sparkle, sing, and shine, and refuse to mask, even when masking would be easier, even when the world gets sharp, even when being visible costs something. I love you because your disability is not something you overcame. It is a part of you. A song you refused to silence. A truth that kept burning. I love you because loving you has made me braver about loving myself. Because your existence feels like a doorway. Because knowing you makes the universe feel more habitable. We are blazing a shared path toward a future where we feel like we belong, because we do. and we get to love you while the world is still catching up. And I invite our postlude musician to come forward.